Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and I know the lighting may seem a bit weird, but that'll be a bit different by the time this commentary is over, because it is about 7 a.m. as I do this. The morning sun will be shining through those windows, probably within the next half hour or so. So I figured it'd be a nice time to start with another paid request. This is from David. Apologies for the lateness of this request, David. I do thank you for it. And it's very cool that you chose this, because I've been wanting to watch this film again for a long time, and thanks to you, I now have a reason to do it. So, for those that want to request any type of videos, PayPal is usually the best way to do it. I do have a CashApp as well. People have asked about it. And a Patreon. Links are down below in the info box, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. It could be any topic, tier list, ranking, review, re-review, random thoughts, video game playthrough, whatever the case may be, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I truly do. I really do. Now, Hot Shots Part Deux. This is easily one of my favorite parodies. It goes back and forth between this and National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1 as to which my favorite parody is. Of course, funny enough, they star, brothers. One Charlie Sheen, the other Emilio Estevez. Now, of course, this one, a lot of it is because it is, for the most part, a Rambo parody. And as my username suggests, I am a big fan of Rambo, especially the first four. This one in particular is more of a parody of Rambo 3, which I love Rambo 3. That's honestly my second favorite Rambo film after the second one. Part 2 is my favorite, then Part 3 is my second favorite. I mean, there's definitely bits of Part 2 in there, but a lot of Part 3 in there, so being a huge fan, I got a lot of the end jokes and things of that nature. It has a good cast. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm kind of excited to get into this. I'm paused at the beginning. Pretty short film, only an hour and 28 minutes. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. As we have the 20th Century Fox logo. Which sadly, you won't see that anymore because Disney bought them. Sad to say. But that's just how it is, sadly. Now, Jim Abrams, he was part of that group with David and Jerry Zucker, where they were making Airplane and the Kentucky Fried Movie, and they went in their separate ways. David Zucker, I think, directed the Naked Gun films. Jim directed Hot Shots, the first one, which was more about parody of Top Gun. So here we have this here. Back when parodies were worth a spit. Nowadays, sadly, they got killed off by all of those awful date movie, superhero movie, epic movie, which even the titles of those are lazy, let alone the movies. That and Scary Movie 4 and 5. I know they're going to do another Scary Movie, but who knows. Crude Christ Bill assassinates, so to kill a guy. I thought it was also hilarious what they were doing with Saddam Hussein in this. And I'll be honest, like the first Hot Shots I don't mind, but I don't rewatch it much. I always would jump to this one. I think just because of it being a Rambo parody, and this one I just remember laughing more with, finding it more hilarious. And of course, briefly, you saw Miguel Ferrer, which you'll see much more prominent throughout. Miguel Ferrer, of course, from RoboCop, and he was in Deep Star 6. He was in Stephen King's The Stand, the original version. Of course, Saddam's a fan of Arsenio. Which, I mean, people might not even remember Arsenio Hall. But his show was popular. I know they tried to bring it back, but it didn't last too long. There was Miguel Ferrer. Rest in peace to him. old Iraqi beer, like a malt liquor. All these little bits of the Aunt Jamal, except camel milk. These little bits here with the logos, the labels. And it seemed like a decent amount of people did like this film. I remember this being a staple of video stores at the time. And I think at one point there was talks of doing the Hot Shots 3, but just never came about. And you kind of wonder, like, what is it about this film that makes it work, but say a film like Epic Movie, Date Movie doesn't? Because I think with this stuff, like, every bit they try to pepper with jokes, but they seem a little bit more creative. Like, the look of that lunchbox and the way that artwork looks. It seems like at times it's just a little bit more creative with the jokes. With the newer ones, it was, hey, remember this movie? Hey, remember this movie? Hey, this has happened now, let's reference this. Oh my god, it's Johnny Depp! AKA a guy playing Jack Sparrow. Oh my god, that's funny because they reference Johnny Depp, and it's like, that's what makes it funny? Like, that's all the joke is? Well, here it's relaying to the audience what kind of person Saddam Hussein is, that he happens to have a little dog, a little puppy, which that will play an important part later on with the whole T-1000 bit. Anytime I think of that, when I saw him looking at the watch for a split second, I thought of the bit in Top Secret, which Jim Abrams was a part of, where you see it up close, and then the cutaway is he's talking to the guy, and the watch is like this big. But also, in a way, these were actually trying to tell a story. It's a very goofy, silly story, but they are telling a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Those epic movie, date movies, like, they didn't even really have a story. It's just events happen, and then it ended, and did you laugh? I'm like, no, I didn't. Here it's, oh, the story is there's a mole. They got screwed over. He goes in to get the men. Who went and get them in? Who went to get them in? Oh, there's a story of Miguel Ferrer. Where did he go? Is he the mole? Is he the traitor? So as silly and goofy it is, they actually tried to tell a story, and I don't know why that was made me laugh. Off to prison, American Satans. I mean, you can't go wrong making fun of Saddam Hussein. Kind of a guy that, you know, it's pretty okay to make fun of him. But yeah, I mean, in the 80s you had films like Airplane and Naked Gun. Like I said, Hot Shots, and going to here. I think Jim Abrams, the last film he did was Jane Austen's Mafia. Now that guy I recognize, that guy here, that is Mitchell Ryan, the senator. This guy here, Mitchell Ryan, he was the bad guy in Lethal Weapon. He was McAllister, who Danny Glover did the net turn and shot, and then McAllister's truck collided and stuff. Lloyd Bridges, great comedic actor ever since Airplane. Put the wrong with this stop sniffing glue. Interesting how they added Lloyd Bridges into this with all the other, and the idea that Lloyd like fucked up all the other presidents. Well, nowadays it'd be Joe Biden doing all this. That's sad that Lloyd Bridges is a more competent president than Joe Biden. And that's not being. I'm just being honest with that. See, he did like Lloyd Bridges was a lot like Leslie Nielsen. They he could sell the silliness in such a straightforward fashion that makes it funnier. Where it's not I'm being funny. It's no, he's seriously this dumb. But he's also got this sincerity that makes him very likable. And Lloyd Bridges pulled it off very well. Like here. And he's being sincere about this. He thinks he's a traitor. And he's like, that's your wife, sir. What? I know we got the saboteur. That's your wife, sir. Oh, it is. And yeah, this Lloyd Bridges sells it because he's so sincere in that. And of course, here Charlie Sheen before he was winning, before the Tiger Blood nonsense. We have, of course, this is a big ode to Rambo 3, where Stallone's Rambo character had the stick fight. I will say Charlie Sheen got pretty good in pretty good shape for this. I'm trying to remember his name. I know I recognize this guy who's the fighter. Can't remember his name. Now this does get a 6.6 out of 10 IMDb. Yeah, I know I recognize this guy. See if I can find the James Liu, that's who it is. Is he the guy that fought against... Let me double check real quick. Now this has been the kickboxer, where the glass, but here it's like caramel and you want cookies, you want M&Ms. So what else I got? Let me double check. Yeah, he worked on Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. He was in Showdown Low Tokyo, worked on that. And just want to double check on something. And that's the guy said right off. Yeah, Time Cop. He's a guy who Van Damme fights in Time Cop in Van Damme's apartment, and they have a knife fight. Now this guy I recognize too. He was in Big Trouble in Little China. But yeah, James Liu, the opponent, he was in Time Cop fighting Van Damme with a knife in Van Damme's apartment, and that guy there. Just the guy's face turning just complete rubber. They both. I love the fact there's sportscasters there as well. Uh-oh. Watch out. Right behind you, man. Jared Octomura was the name of the guy who was the referee. I remember as a kid I didn't get this joke, but of course I do now. Because that is literally the nutcracker, and then there's his nuts. Literally spin his nuts out. The idea that he needed and it shoved so far it came out of his mouth. I remember as a kid I didn't get that, but it works. And of course I gotta mention such a great asset to get Richard Crenna himself. I mean, he's Colonel Troutman. You're doing a Rambo parody. You have the actual actor. From what I understand, Richard Crenna got Stallone's permission to do this. He said, "Hey Sly, is it okay I do this?" He's like, "Yeah, knock yourself out." So to have Richard Crenna in the film, pretty much playing the role from Rambo, that's such a chef's kiss on it. And this is all definitely, like I said, of the Rambo films, it's definitely Rambo 3 they're referencing the most here. There are fun edits on YouTube where they take what either Richard Crenna and what he says here, and then Stallone reacting to it. So they cut between Hot Shots 2 and Rambo 3. So like Richard Crenna's talking about the Three Bears and Goldilocks, and they'll cut to Stallone listening in. It's some fun edits on YouTube you can see of that. I love this joke. She's CIA. The other man's an extra. Like, that's clever to say, who are they? Oh, she's with the CIA. That guy, he's an extra. Now, that girl is Brenda Batty? I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, but she was in Gunman, which is a underrated film with Mario Van Peebles and Christopher Lambert. She was also in Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight as Cordelia. Done a lot of TV work. Bristol County Jr., NYPD Blue, Star Trek The Next Generation. Like Rambo says, his war is over. So now his war for drugs. That's the thing with Charlie Sheen. Here's Bob Vila. Now, people nowadays might not know who the hell Bob Vila is. So if they watch this nowadays, they may not get the joke. But Bob Vila had a lot of shows about home improvement. That's why the TV show Home Improvement, Tim Allen, they feature a lot of Bob Vila on there. But he had a lot of shows for a long time. Like, one lasted like 9 years, one lasted like 15 years. But he said, I don't know if people nowadays know who he is. I think what makes it work is that Charlie Sheen plays it very straightforward. He's not, hey, I'm being goofy, guys. Don't you see how goofy? It's though he's saying these things, same with Richard Crenna, sincerely. So when Richard Crenna tells this story about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Charlie Sheen really sincerely is interested in the story, and no, like sincerely interested in the story, and sincerely. Until you face your three bears. But again, like the being sincere and the delivery of the dialogue, and which a lot of people don't get nowadays in parodies. Like they play it off like they'd be like over the top and being very like, we're in on the joke, guys. Don't worry. And it's like, no, no, you're ruining the joke is what you're doing. Plus, they're just so piss poorly written. The parodies that came out in like the 2000s afterwards. Of course, this is a big old parody of Lady and the Tramp. Which I completely forgot they did a remake of that. Yes, there was a remake of Lady and the Tramp, which again, I never saw, and I just remembered it watching this now that there was one. But I was talking about Charlie Sheen. It's a sad because I liked a lot of his movies. Whether it be Platoon, whether it be, throughout the years, this film and Terminal Velocity I think is fun. Men at Work I liked. The Rookie with Clint Eastwood I thought he was good in. Young Guns. Even films like The Chase, The Arrival. He's done a lot of good films. And then he just lost his mind to drugs, and then apparently he had, AIDS, and then unprotected sex, so a lot of other people got it, and that's just a very irresponsible, scumbag move, and yeah, there's a reason why he's not in the spotlight anymore, just this meltdown, and it's just a shame. He didn't let his inner demons, didn't conquer them, and now other people had to deal. Now, granted, thankfully, AIDS, from what I understand, is not as bad now as it is back then because there are ways to deal with it. But still, that's a life-changing event, and totally irresponsible. And no, I don't think he did what Corey Feldman said he did. Because while Charlie Sheen is a lot of things, I mean, Corey Haim's mom even said, no, Charlie Sheen didn't do it, and I know, I just, like, she said who did it, Dominic Brazier, and it seems like there's been no kickback on, oh, no, he didn't. No, it seems like adamant, no, he actually did do it. Who Corey Feldman was friends with. Like, Feldman was friends with the guy who did, Dominic Brazier, and you did nothing about it. And funny how you never mentioned his name during your whole doc. Your tell-all. Well, that's not true. That's not true. But you you don't mention the fact that you were friends with him for years and years when you supposedly knew. Like, you don't mention that part. I'll put it that way. So anyway, that's a whole other thing. So, but yeah, it's a shame because I still like a lot of his movies. I think he does a good job in films like this, but yeah, the whole Tiger Blood thing, it made for a couple of funny interviews, but just complete meltdown, and other people got hurt because of it, because they got infected, and like sometimes you just have movies like a guy having a Holiday Inn hat. Yeah, I think Richard Crenna gets tortured. There's like popcorn. One of my favorite jokes is he does a little spit and it cuts away and like a big tidal wave of water hits him. Like, I just about that. Just if that joke was never done before, I'm surprised that joke was never done. Sort of the spit. It's like, yeah. There's the popcorn. Twice. You're no stranger to pain. Yes, I've been married. Twice. Ooh. He has a hell of a good setup for being in the middle of nowhere. Look at that stereo setup. Well, I guess, we may not have a sink, but we got cable, obviously, and a hell of a stereo system. So I guess if to sacrifice the sink, I could have that set up, I guess I would do the same as well. Because, of course, the way Trina is like telling it's all BS. Like, what I'm saying is all bullshit. And the sign language is like, not understand what he's doing. Yeah, this whole thing, people may not even understand what this is a reference to. So what this whole thing's a referencing is right after, like, around the same time, George Bush, the first George Bush, he was at a banquet with a Japanese prime minister, and he puked on the guy's pants. And apparently, I forget what it is. It was some kind of infection, diarrhea type of infection thing. But yeah, he puked on the damn. And it just got everywhere in the news. I think there's actually video where vomited on the prime minister. Like I said, I don't know how many people remember that incident, but that was a thing. That did happen. Yep, there you go. And that's what it's a reference to. Now, that guy looks familiar too, the guy who's the prime minister. I know I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Let me see. I know I've seen him before. Yeah, he puts the teeth back wrong, yeah. That's where he puts the teeth back on and it's wrong. Let me see real quick. Who was that? I know, like, he looks familiar. I'll look this up real quick. Clyde Kusatsu? Okay, yeah, I know I recognize this guy. What has he been in? Oh yeah, he was a cop with Tom Hanks and Turner and Hooch. He was a cop in The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman. Mr. President? No, you're not. That's a great. Mr. President? No, you're not. I've seen him on TV, about my height. You shouldn't go around telling you're Mr. President. I don't do it, and nor should you. Yeah, he just says it with such sincerity that just makes it funny. Yeah, that guy, the prime minister, he was Chuck Norris's boss in Top Dog. He was a doctor in Hollywood Homicide. Yeah, so yeah, he was in Harold Kumar, Steve from Guantanamo Bay. He was in Doctor Dolittle 2, A Voice as a Bee. He was a Secret Service agent in The Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood. He was in Dragging the Bruce Lee Story as history teacher. He's been in quite a few stuff. So I knew he looked familiar. But yeah, Top Dog and Perfect Weapon. I remember him in that. Of course, this is an ode to Basic Instinct with the way she's dressed and the whole showing the leg thing. In my hands, nothing turns to putty. Kind of a fun song choice to utilize. I'm so excited. Oh yeah, and this guy gets so intrigued by what's going on. He's like taking pictures, like videotaping everything. I don't know who this guy is who plays the limo driver, but just wants to have a show of his own. If it was a taxi, I would say this is Taxi Cab Confessions. Which I don't know how many people remember that show on HBO, Taxi Cab Confessions, where there's like people talked in the back, and I have to look up like how that works. Like how do they get permission? Like did they were get I would assume they were able to sign off later or something. Like hey, sign off on this, maybe we'll pay you a bit, or if you sign off on this, your fare is free, or I have to look into how that worked. At the end, is all the more ridiculous ways he's seen all this. Hey, watch the road, man! You gotta watch the road. I do love the headlight beams. Say, watch the road, man! Watch the road. I love the sound effect, the sounds the guys like, "Aww." Yeah, that's just doing like a high dive. Oh yeah, and there's another ode to Basic Instinct. Not the high dive, but you think she's going to kill him, but instead is fixing the creek. I remember a few things from this. Yeah, this is definitely one of those films I watched quite a bit on VHS back in the day. Again, just being a parody of films, mainly a Rambo that I liked, and just a lot of like later on the moment where the two guys are fighting, shooting at each other, and you find the rip-off Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going. They shoot the shit out of it. Yeah. Or they're Charlie Sheen's shooting everybody, and the tallying up. More violent than RoboCop. More violent Total Recall. Bloodiest movie ever. See, why is it that, because these guys who worked on these, they studied this stuff. Like Kentucky Fried Movie and Airplane. They studied this stuff. And these people just were better heads on their shoulders, were smarter, and just more creative writing. Nowadays, like those Seltzer Burger, who the hell those guys were. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Must have been a hell of a ride to be shooting. Well, just let you she didn't shoot blanks, or he didn't shoot blanks, or neither shot blanks. Nah, he's thinking about Ramada. Which I haven't mentioned her, but we saw her in the flashback that was Lady and the Tramp, and we'll see her much later on, which is Valeria Golino, which she was in Rain Man, she was in Big Top Pee Wee. I remember her in Escape from L.A., where State Plissken saves her from Bruce Campbell's character, ready to cut her open and stuff. And she's going to show him around, then she nearly gets shot and killed. And you tell the State Plissken that I feel sorry, because this lady seemed like she didn't deserve that fate. Warned you. I told you. Like that, I thought was kind of clever. He's like, bored, clunk. I told you, I warned you twice. Maybe it'd be one of those, people cringe at. But I mean, it's a joke I haven't seen before, and it works. Do you imagine being dumped and then sent the shitty looking card? And then it's like, oh, it just happens to be raining on me and me alone, huh? This one cloud is like, oh, there's a sad guy. I gotta go towards him and douse his flame, so to speak. I'm trying to think, does he wear the red shirt? Like Rambo too? Oh, this is the motto. Someone goes, yeah. So I should pick that up. Someone could trip over it. I love that. Like it lands and it's like, you picked up so trip. It just. I thought that was always a pretty funny joke. So we have, yeah, bit of Rambo 2 now. We got. Like I said, it started with Rambo 3, now we got a bit of Rambo 2. With the red shirt. And that's a line similar to Rambo 2. I fired a few. Or was it Rambo 3? I fired a few shots. Might have been Rambo 3. I fired a few shots. Patty White, different dot of bone, sir. Now that guy there is Ryan Stiles. I remember years later when I saw this, I went, "Oh shit, he was in this movie." But that guy, now if you see him, he's on the far left. It's Ryan Stiles, which on ABC I saw quite a bit of Whose Line Is It Anyway, which I loved. It's a improv show where Drew Carey's the host. I know it was a show from overseas, but I always remember the American version. And Wayne Brady was part of the cast. Ryan Stiles. Was a Colin Motley? I forget. Usually it'd be like those three guys, then the fourth one it would change from time to time. Robin Williams did an episode or two. I think Richard Simmons did one, and yeah, I remember really liking Whose Line Is It Anyway. Pretty much improv. You guys do a scene, and yeah, it's top of your head. Figure it out. But yeah, Ryan Stiles did most of that, the American version, and so it was cool to see him in. Wow, he was in this. Good cast. I mean, like I said, Miguel Ferrer. He sells his scenes sincerely, seriously. Have it. He gives the face paint, and the guy's like, "You serious?" Like that is like a sincerely funny joke. Like he's painting his face black, and he's like, black guy's like, "What you talking about?" Oh, he said, and he's gonna blow the shit out of it. Set my charges and blow the shit out of it. Oh, this is another one that I remember, but where they're all saying Geronimo. Like this, I thought was such a clever joke. Geronimo. And then all of a sudden, like Geronimo, Geronimo. Then here's a Native American, me. Well, I thought, okay, that's a joke. It seems like a joke I should have seen before, and I'm surprised no one ever made that until now. Like, what if? Well, people say Geronimo. What if the actual Geronimo did it? I swear, you when you watch Charlie Sheen, he's kind of like, where the fuck did he come from? Okay, like on his face. Now, I guess you say we're going a little bit of Rambo 2 territory here. Now that's funny. It's not the first. It's not the only time someone deals with a snake similar to that in a 1993 movie, because it was also the same year Hard Target. Only Van Damme punched the snake. He's got, I think that's supposed to be what, the M60 machine gun. I think. I'm not good with guns. Oh, this is, yeah, kind of like Co in Rambo 2. Here you have a female in, informant, wherever the case may be. I just like his reaction. Geez, where did that come from? The guy who they're supposed to meet up with, which lo and behold, is Ramada. Yeah, their contact. What was the line she says? I had to come back. It's the sequel. Something like that. Why? Like, why is she so surprised he has a beauty mark? You dumped him how many years ago? You dumped him and saying, what do you expect him to do? You dumped his ass. Like, why is she so surprised? Like, you dumped him without much say so. You left him hanging at the fucking train. Why should he feel bad about that? You're the one who dumped him, Ramada. It's your fault. Short her right through a guy's barbecue. First place I think of the golden child was like, turn that over, man, it's burning. Turn that over, it's burning. Just want some chips. Just want some chips. And of course, this is an ode to Apocalypse Now, which I thought this was a nice touch. They got his dad, Martin Sheen, who seems to be playing his character from Apocalypse Now. So this is supposed to be Martin Sheen. I think the line they say is, "I loved you in Wall Street." I thought that was a nice nod to, father and son. And credit to Martin Sheen for doing that, because I know that was such a difficult film for him to do, Apocalypse Now, and he had like a meltdown or such during, like a heart attack. I think he had a heart attack during the making of the film. But to be able to do it as a parody here, definitely give credit to him. He's trying to do these toes. No, don't take it literally. Do not take it literally. The Volt. Oh yeah, I think this is the line here. The sequel, I had to come. Uh, Deadpan. That's the word I'm looking for. People are so completely deadpan in the what they're saying that makes it much more funnier. And that's something that a lot of people don't really know how to do is complete deadpan. Sadly, this film, I mean, I don't know if it has a Blu-ray. It might. If it does, there's definitely nothing on the Blu-ray. Let me check. Is this even out on Blu-ray? The first one's out on Blu-ray. What about the second one? It looks like there's a Blu-ray overseas from 2013. UK import. Yeah, it's looking like it was never put in Blu-ray in the US. This is an import. That's crazy that this film is never... Well, this is on eBay, but this might be a... This is Hot Shots 1 and 2. But okay, yeah, this is from a different country. The back has different language on it. If it's even a real one, or... So, is that the same with the first one as well? The first one might not even be on Blu-ray either. It looks like these are from overseas. I mean, Hot Shot 1, it says deep discount. Yeah, the fact that, I mean, that this has been pretty much ignored in the US, that's a damn shame. That is a fucking shame, man. What the hell? Up, this Miguel Ferrer leaving again. What a pretty man. Fire at the wrong way. And yeah, cool to see Ryan Stiles. Probably one of the only films he got to do was this. I think this is where you get the bloodiest movie. Is it this? We get the bloodiest movie ever? Yeah, this is definitely an older Rambo 2 when he's in the boat and getting shot at, so I didn't two of my favorite Rambo films being parody. That's definitely a big reason to love it. Nice explosion there. There you go. Just shooting everybody with a mountain of bullets. it right in his damn mouth. Now, obviously, it looks like that was filmed in reverse. But just the idea that he throws a grenade and goes right in the guy's mouth. Good explosion, too. That's the thing, like, they don't make the production look cheap. They make it look like a real movie. It's just, all it has this silly stuff in it. That's the thing, like, those later parodies is like, yeah, we know we're a parody, so let's make, have it look shitty, sound shitty, crappy effects, crappy stuff, and it's part of the joke. Look how crappy it is. Who cares? I'm like, you have to seem like you're making a legitimate film so that the crazy, silly stuff comes off as even funnier. See, like, the guy on the left, he's playing the scene realistically, like, oh my god, this guy is trying to hurt me, what's this guy This guy's the president. Oh my god. So it says Charlie Sheen worked out for 8 hours a day to build up his body as he decided that he would have felt embarrassed at the film's premiere if he had to sit amongst people laughing while looking at him and his outfit. I didn't realize the interior of Saddam's palace is the set of Tony Montana's palace from Starface. Didn't even know that. It says Jim Abrams wanted Marlon Brando to play the president. I thought Lloyd Bridges fit. He fit better with the humor. In 1995, with Entertainment Tonight, Stallone was asked if he had any plans to make Rambo 4. He joked, "Why don't you ask Charlie Sheen to star in it?" It was funny because there was a Rambo 4 and a 5 later on. Apparently, at one point, uh, Valeria here had gout, and production was shut down as she went to the hospital. So a third film was planned for summer 1995, but the project was canceled after Charlie Sheen declined due to prior commitments with the filming of Terminal Velocity. I guess at that time also Charlie Sheen's films were not doing that well. Like Terminal Velocity was a flop. There was that film The Chase that didn't do well. So, well, there was The Arrival in '96, but then that didn't do that well. Which I think that's a great movie. But maybe the Fox said, Hot Shots 3, they felt there was no need or want for it. I don't know. Left my heart in my other pants. Well, as long as your dick is still attached, then it's all good. Yeah, as long as your dick's attached, then it's all good, baby. The fact he's like doing all this to the neck is a damn tie. Oh, I love this. The end of the knife has a little clipper for the chain. Like, that's pretty cool. Did all that for nothing. Oh, this too. Like, it's like a rocket launcher, but it's just. Damn punching bag. I mean, punching glove, boxing glove, punching bag, like boxing glove. Oh yeah, this here. Yeah, he keeps missing the arrows. Yes, and of course you don't get the poster shot, which I think remember when I first saw this. I'm like, okay, it's funny for a poster, but they're not really going to have that in the movie, are they? There's a lot of times they do stuff for a poster. Doesn't mean it's going to be in the movie, but lo and behold, yep, he don't use a chicken. And of course, if you watch the trailer, that would give it away. But I don't think I had seen the trailer before I saw the film. It was just, hey, Charlie Sheen, that guy from The Rookie and Young Guns and stuff. Does he bite it? The banana. Uh oh. Just the way this looks and the expression on the face. It's so ridiculous, and yet I guess the chicken's not dead. He still was able to cock a doodle doo. The rooster, I guess you would say, or I guess chicken. Well, chicken, whatever you want to is. It laid an egg. Why did I bring helium instead of air? And 1993 was such a great year for movies, man. One of my favorite years for movies. It's hard to pick what my all-time favorite year is, but 1993 is up there, man. Because you have Hard Target, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, Last Action Hero, this film, of course, Jurassic Park. I had a lot of great movies this year, man. Different time, different time. I know once in a while I talk with the guys at Dead Pit, and something I brought up and they brought up is, what was the last comedy that people really enjoyed and really liked and was a big hit? And I think one time I joked, oh, I guess Beetlejuice 2, and Aaron, Uncle Bill's like, well, that's not a comedy. It's a shitty movie. It's not a comedy. But, and yes, of course, this is a sequel, but still, I looked at a list of the top 10 highest grossing films of the year, and they were like, and yeah, I know it's not really fair because it's a sequel in itself, but all 10 were sequels. All 10 of them are the biggest hit of the year. All of them were sequels. That was just, they can't make a movie like Hot Shots and then Hot Shots 2. Like, they can't make that kind of stuff. It's, oh, bring something bad that was 23 years ago, or, superhero thing, or Disney thing. I don't know. Just a different thing. And the fact that he could just clearly just walk out. He's pretty much just completely out of the damn jail. The face in with a hamburger. Oh yeah, trying to use that gun, and the guy's like, "That's a hell of a gun." You're right here. And that's like interesting, like makeup effects there. That's a hell of a gun. I love the map. That's like a Disneyland map. Dexter's Dungeon. There we go. I think coming up is going to be the counter, the body count counter. I think. I think. Oh, just find out about Miguel Ferrer. Just the way he's talking to him like a little kid. Yeah, there's a good way of adapting. Gun breaks apart, use whatever parts you got left. As a Miguel Ferrer, just a great actor. So sad that he passed away. It's like one of those actors that you wish could have gotten to have a lot of more bigger parts. He was in the Stephen King's The Night Flyer. It's sad he didn't get to star in a lot of films. It's a damn shame. He should have. Here's the Energizer. Now, obviously, it looked like they had to change the look of it for parody reasons, but so this time it's blue and not pink. But just shooting the shit out of it. Here's the body count counter. Equal to RoboCop. Are they Total Recall? Yep. Both Paul Verhoeven films, of course. Which Miguel Ferrer was in RoboCop. Bloodiest movie ever. He just throws the bullets. And then you have the people that forgot how to die. I thought Charlie Sheen and Valeria actually had good chemistry with each other. They worked well together. If I'm not there, you know what to do. We get out of there. No, you wait another 15 minutes. Now, of course, yeah, you got a fart joke. It's like, of course, this movie felt it needed a fart joke. I mean, I'm not a fan of fart jokes. It is what it is. It's one of my least favorite type of jokes, so it didn't work for me. But it's at least it was a litter with it. At least it was like 15, 20, a dozen of those type of jokes. So that's why I could let it go, so to speak. Again, just a likable cast, and it goes by a fast pace. Like, we have 19 minutes left of the film. I love Miguel Ferrer's sort of. He's so proud of what he did coming up. War. It's fantastic. It just how proud he is of what he did. And yet, I miss Miguel Ferrer. He didn't. I mean, what was the one? Wasn't he a bad? I'm trying to think of comedies he was in. Wasn't he a bad guy in Another Stakeout? I think he was. How does this film not have a Blu-ray in the U.S.? At least none that I could find. And it may have had one in overseas. But yeah, no fucking Blu-ray in the U.S. Are you kidding me, man? What the hell, man? What the hell? That's crazy. You will die, Yankee bastard man. I thought the guy who plays Saddam did a pretty good job. Or he does the. Jerry Haliva? Okay, so he plays Saddam in a lot of movies. He was Hot Shots 1 he was in as this, and this as well. He plays Saddam in the Bill of Bowsy. Okay, so it was the same guy. Jane Austen's Mafia from the same director. Also, the first $20 million is always the hardest, which is comedy in 2002. So he made a bit of a career being a doppelganger Saddam. Did a couple movies. This is one of those films that, I mean, I don't really have a lot bad to say about it. It goes by a fast enough pace. It doesn't lollygag around too many useless subplots. I still find a lot of the jazz pretty funny. I know I've used that line before. I will kill you until you die. I will kill you until you die from it. And just the idea of like the president fighting Saddam Hussein and has to be Lloyd Bridges just raises a smile to my face. And then, of course, a bit of Star Wars. Oh, the mess of evil Sodom. God, his damn inhaler. We'll settle this the old Navy way. The first guy who dies loses. I mean, you got Rambo 2 and 3 parody, you got Star Wars. I mean, that alone is better than the Star Wars sequels. I know, yeah, I forgot. Rowan Atkinson is in this. Of course, Rowan Atkinson is known for Mr. Bean and then the Johnny English films. He was in Rat Race. But he said, I forgot he was in this. Rowan Atkinson. Yeah, the bastards tied his shoes to a knot. How dare they? Sons of bitches. Them sons of bitches. There's the hostages. Ah, yeah, the Shaw's teeth fighting. I remember that. Yep, they're. Let the teeth go on. We'll take a break. This guy needing a drink at the damn fountain. Oh, it's not cold. Just fucking complaining. It's like definitely gets you to instantaneously hate this guy. I think Richard Crenna does a good job here because it was cool to see Crenna get to do some comedy. Because I not only in this film, in the Rambo films, loved him in Leviathan and other stuff. Really good actor, Richard Crenna. So it's nice to see him do a bit of comedy, bit difference, bit of a change of pace for him. The way he reacts in the scene between these two ladies, that was pretty funny. The way he's like getting more and more heated up and it's like, tilts his head at one point, like, what? He's like, go on. You're right here, he's like the viewer, he's thinking of something else. He's thinking of, sex. He's like, go on, like all of us. It's like, I want to hear this. It's like, bungee jumping? He's like disappointed. Like, that's what you were talking about? Another thing some people may not remember, American Gladiators. I know there's a documentary on that I would like to see one day about American gladiators. From what I heard, it's a very good, fascinating documentary. So nice to have a reference to American gladiators. It was also cool to see like Lloyd Bridges did in on the action because I don't think he did to do a whole lot of that in Hot Shots One, but here like Lloyd Bridges did in to fight Saddam Hussein and of course nice nod to Terminator 2, Rambo sequels, Terminator 2, Star Wars. Now those are references that count, man. Yeah, this is where we get the T-1000, and then because it's merged with the dog, he looks quite a bit different. Now, of course, they're not going to have the budget of Terminator 2, so they're going to show a whole lot of that, but they show enough to tell the audience they get what's going on, they get what's happening. So I'm looking through reviews, and one of the people who liked the film was Roger Ebert. Again, Roger Ebert is one of those guys that, yeah, I'd like any credit. There's stuff I disagree with, but there's times I'm like surprised by like Leviathan. He gave a thumbs up to. I think Rambo 2 he gave a thumbs up to. The Relic, Metro. As he puts here, movies like this are more or less impervious to the depredations of movie critics. Either you laugh or you don't. I laughed. Of course, you just need this guy to leave, so Yeah, about time for you to get the hell out of the movie, dude. Sorry, I'm not saying much. I'm just enjoying sort of as we get to the finale of the. Well, we're in the finale. We get to last couple minutes of this film. Makes you wonder where the hell that piano came from. Trust the idea of a nod to Wizard of Oz here. And of course, we have a big old kiss for the end of your movie. Yeah, doesn't the helicopter like burn up? Yeah, like it passed through the sun's bit on fire. It tastes too. I remember some of these movies also back in the day. You watch the credits and they try to throw little in jokes in the credits for those who stay in and read the credits. The credits, yeah. Can't remember if they do on this one. I think so. Fun fact: after Richard Crenna invented tartar sauce, there you go. They add little stuff like that into it, which is kind of, you know, most people would have left and not seen that, but for the few that do, you did a little bit there. But yeah, fun fact: baseball superstar Darryl Strawberry spends his winters thinking of new excuses. Damn, must have been someone who did like Darryl Strawberry. Baseball player, I know that. I forget what team he's on, but I guess someone really had a bone to pick with Darryl Strawberry. But this is a fun film. Secret of the Crying Game, she's a guy. Damn. They gave away the end to the Crying Game. The twist, I should say. She's a guy. That would be hilarious if like someone really didn't know that. It's like, the motherfucker, you spoiled it, you son of a bitch. Because I read your fucking credits. But this film still works. It's still hilarious. It's still very funny. I still, I probably will still say National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1 is answer to the nice scrambled movie title, T2. Loaded Weapon 1 is still my favorite, but this is pretty close. Like, this is easily up there. At the very least, my second favorite spoof. I, I still laugh quite a bit throughout It's a short film. It goes fast. The set pieces are entertaining. The cast works well. They work in their deadpan stature as they should. A lot of the jokes hit more than they miss. Richard Crenna being in there works very well. Cast in order that you should know their names. Yeah, Charlie Sheen, Richard Crenna, Lloyd Bridges, Miguel Ferrer, etc. Ryan Stiles. Michael Collier, I think, was the other guy who was on the team. Yeah, James Liu, kickboxer. James Liu again fought Van Damme in Time Cop with the knife in the apartment. Joe Nakamura, he was the referee. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Big Trouble in Little China, among other stuff. Mother Whose Baby Is Snatched, Nancy Abrams. So, oh yeah, I forgot that was in the movie. Nun's not in this movie. Siren and Zap of American Gladiators. Oh, Jeff Amata. which he worked on Big Trouble in Little China. George P. Wilbur. So Michael Myers himself from Halloween 4. He helped do on stunts of this. I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters. It Takes Two. Marvin Gaye. Footage from Rapid Fire. It says there was footage from Rapid Fire. Where was the footage from Rapid Fire in this? Rapid Fire? Oh, maybe it's not the Rapid Fire I'm thinking of. Well, no, the Rapid Fire is 1992, so... It says footage from Rapid Fire. What was the footage from Rapid Fire? That's what I'm confused by. It says footage from Rapid Fire. What was that? Footage from Rapid Fire? I'm confused on that. It said in the credits, footage from Home Alone 2 and Rapid Fire. Let me see if I read that right. At the very end, after the songs. Bill Conti did the American Gladiators theme? Like Bill Conti or Rocky and Lockup? I didn't know Bill Conti teamed up with the American Gladiators theme. That yeah, it says footage from Rapid Fire, courtesy of Fox, and footage from Home Alone 2, courtesy of Fox. But I don't remember where that was at. I know there's a bit where the TV is Arsenio Hall, but where was the stuff from Rapid Fire? And Home Alone 2, I don't know where that was from. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of those scenes with TVs and stuff in it. There's a bit where he turns on the TV in the hut, and I think it goes right to the news, I believe. See, now I want to investigate what this is about. Yeah, I may not find it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, the footage from Rapid Fire and Home Alone 2. If anyone knows, feel free to let me know. Because that... I never read those crap. Like, what? Really? But hey, anyway, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and we will see you guys later. Thanks once again to Dave for the request. Take care. Bye-bye.